First of all, I'm very glad I'm here. It's the first time for me in Latvia and Riga. I've been to a lot of places in the world in the past time, especially in the past 3 months. I was in all over Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. So I'm going to start a little bit more on our history, and I will tackle some misconceptions that whenever I travel, people think of them. Some of them are positive and some of them are negative. So everyone sees me, it's like Egypt, the pyramids, you guys invented the first civilization, you taught the world, all that stuff. But the reality is, currently, there's no tourism in Egypt. Tourism dropped like 90%. So pyramids, that's history, but right now, it's a challenge. We also did the first kind of elevations in the world, like the first map, the first ship, the first calendar, all that stuff. And these were like thousands of years ago. But now, Alexandria, one of the most ancient cities in the world, that was built by Alexander the Great, could not even face rain. On the contrary, a lot of people would say, you guys did a great revolution and everyone was inspired, but currently it's dead. But people don't realize that 43% of people who did this revolution and 43% of this country is below 30 years old. So in 5 years to 10 years' time, they will be the system anyways. I was once in Berlin in a nice restaurant, and I met a beautiful girl. I just broke up, and I was about to propose, and then she said, "You're from Egypt." Wow, but I'm so sorry, there's a lot of ISIS. I was like, I've never seen ISIS in Egypt. This shit doesn't exist there, right? It's just on the borders. We're 90 million people. How could media be so strong to get you this kind of message? Of course, I didn't propose or anything else. She was so shallow. So the slides are not helping me right now. That's probably her influence on technology. Oh, yeah. So yeah, these are amazing Egyptian women. I should propose to one of them. These are female entrepreneurs in Egypt who are doing a lot of fashion startups, a lot of transportation startups, a lot of furniture startups. They're doing amazing jobs. So all these misconceptions that Egypt is third world, I should come here riding a camel and all that stuff, no. Ask Uldis, ask Hassan, ask anyone who comes regularly, who challenges these kind of misconceptions and comes to our places. So why I'm saying that? Basically, we are RiseUp, the entrepreneurship conference. This event is one of the biggest events in the MENA region. It started in 2013. It totally stemmed out of the revolution. A lot of people came together from the entrepreneurship ecosystem, like what happened yesterday when you guys had this venture summit. We sat together and said, okay, the world is doing it this way, but this is the way we want to do it. We want to sit together, work out a competition. We're competing and cooperating at the same time, and we created our own platform, which was the event that happened in the worst times of Egypt. There were like, all the streets were closed, the army was taking over, there was a massacre in the street, it was the Sisi birthday, it was the World Cup finals match, everything was challenging, and 2,000 people came. Imagine 2,000 people in downtown Cairo when all the streets are closed. Currently, this is the third summit this year, on the 12th and 13th of December, RiseUp is attracting more than 4,500 people, and they're mostly from Silicon Valley and everywhere. So we get Dave McClure, we get TechCrunch, we get Facebook, Google is sponsoring. All the big names are coming because they see potential. Okay. I'm going to forget about this. I know it anyways. Cool. So what I'm talking about today is how is that happening? What kind of philosophy and methodology are we using so that this is still resilient? How can you build an entrepreneurship ecosystem in a very uncertain area? We don't have government support. We technically don't have kind of real government, right? No traffic lights. Never see them. I just see them in Europe. It's like one of the main attractions for me to see them in Europe. All these glowing lights. We don't have them. We have people actually managing that. So there's a guy with a stick saying like this, pass, and then maybe he's not looking, and then things get really crazy. Anyways, so how do we thrive in this kind of ecosystem? Number one, this is the most important. We have a vision. We can see it. We know that one day this can change. We've seen some good stuff that happened in the past time, but at the same time, we want better. So the collective vision of the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Egypt and the Middle East is what really is driving change. This kind of picture of the society we want to create, this kind of picture of the economy we want to create is what's leading what's happening. So first thing, vision. The second thing is to create a platform. For you to bring a lot of people who totally believe in different things, who are very diverse, who has a lot of different beliefs, you need to create an independent platform, an inclusive platform. So the idea of Tahrir Square in Egypt, where thousands of people were there, was very strong for one reason, because no one controlled it. And this is the idea of RiseUp. So what we did is we are very collaborative, inclusive, and in a way, non-competing events. So we don't compete with the ecosystem. We actually connect the entrepreneurs with the resources in this ecosystem. The third thing is a very, very important concept I learned from a book called Built to Last for Jim Collins. I totally recommend this book. And it's the idea of the yin-yang, the ancient Chinese or Asian strategy, which is basically the balance between what you have inside your core, what's inside you, what do you believe, who you are truly, and what you have inside, versus the changes in the world. The world is very much changing, the internet and everything that is catalyzing change. And all of this change, you get lost. But you'll never get lost if you basically remember all the time your core. So how you can really, really focus on your core, but at the same time, catalyze and embrace change. So vision, platform, and the balance. And number 4 is embracing risk. We understand in that maybe one day, though this never happened in our history for the past 7,000 years, we end up like Syria or Iraq, sorry, or any of these countries that are kind of no longer existing. So we understand this risk. We don't want to go. We just want to stick around and see whether we can change it, but we still understand and see that this is a potential. And we're working very much to do a lot of things to make this not happen. The 5th thing, which is a very, very important thing, I would say, I forgot that actually. There are no slides helping me. So the 5th thing is when you have, the most important part is doing stuff. When you do things, this is when things happen. There's a lot of talk about entrepreneurship. A lot of people who are talking about things, pitching and saying we're awesome and thinking of new ideas and envisioning the future. But there are very, very few who are taking steps towards that. I believe what's very, very unique there is that persistence and consistency of doing a lot of steps towards reaching this kind of vision is very, very important. Basically, these are the most important points I see in the core ideology or the core way of how you can deal with an uncertain place. And I would like to take the chance to invite all of you on the 12th and 13th of December this year. If not, maybe the next year. We're going to have it next year if we're sticking around. More people are coming. To come to Cairo, you'll meet the whole entrepreneurship scene in the Middle East. Investors, you'll see amazing startups. You can ask Dave and Hassan. They've invested like 30 startups in the Middle East, around 30 startups in the Middle East, with 500 startups. And another bunch of like 100 VCs come every year. So for the investors, it's very useful, but for the entrepreneurs themselves, it's also very good to get out of your comfort zone. It's really out of your comfort zone. And we've lost all this once there. But it was intentional, actually. He did it intentionally because he wanted to get lost and get out of the comfort zone. He just said, like, sorry, guys, I'm not going to answer the phone. And for a whole day, like, he's just doing whatever he wants. So this is, I think, for any kind of entrepreneur to get out of comfort zone is a very, very important thing to do.